Well, hello there, welcome back to another Pokemon Master video. I've been thinking about how to start this video. I had a few ideas of how to start this video, but I think I'm gonna start it like this. Alright. The Pokemon Championship stuff had happened pretty recently, and I think toward the end of it, or maybe this was after, they announced a new game. A new game called Pokemon TCG Pocket. And I'm like, oh, it's a new Pokemon game. Alright, a new, like, it seems like a mobile game. And as a Pokemon game. And then when I saw the developers, that's when I got worried. Developer is DNA. Now DNA is the developer of Pokemon Masters, right? And so when I saw this, I'm like, yeah, it's I'm not saying that this new mobile game is gonna compete with Pokemon Masters. It's a completely different game, right? It's TCG and Pokemon Masters is a gacha game, but just it kind of got me thinking, like, it's another Pokemon game from DNA. There's probably gonna be, the team, from Pokemon Masters might work on the other game, so we might see less people. Again, just my speculation, but when I saw a new Pokemon game being developed by DNA, it got me a little bit worried about Pokemon Masters and the future that it holds. The future of Pokemon Masters is already a little bit sketchy, because the game has been going for, 5 years. And, it's a long-standing gacha game. Usually Pokemon mobile games don't really last that long. Usually Pokemon games that have service don't really have that long of service. So Pokemon Masters having 5 years of service is already pretty insane if you ask me. But anniversary is coming up. And anniversary for Pokemon Masters is always exciting. Because stuff actually happens. I think a great example of a kind of bad anniversary, in my opinion, look no further than the big gacha giants in Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. I feel like those games have pretty poor anniversaries, and I've stated this. I'm not sure where I stated it in like a description of one of my videos, but I feel like the Genshin Impact and Star Rail anniversaries kind of fall flat. They don't really feel that special. Yes, they give you extra rolls, but I feel what really sets anniversary apart is kind of the banners and the events that happen. And particularly games like Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail, they have events, but it's not really a specific anniversary event, and they don't really have specific fun banners or free banners. It's just normal stuff. Nowadays, Genshin Impact is adding a free 5-star standard character, but the anniversary of those games kind of fall flat. I wouldn't recommend people start those games during anniversary. You might get extra rolls, but there isn't really any anniversary thing about it. Pokemon Masters is different. Actually, a lot of gacha games are different. I play Near Reincarnation and Fate, not Fate. Why did I say Fate? Fire Emblem Heroes. Games like those actually have an anniversary. And Pokemon Masters no different. Every anniversary, they don't go all out, but I mean they kind of do. They might introduce new features into the game. They might introduce new characters and stuff like that. So it's always very exciting when we see anniversary of Pokemon Masters. And of course you have your special banners. You have your free scouts they do last year. They usually give a lot of free rolls, which is good for a new player. You can get a bunch of new rolls, or a bunch of rolls to get new characters. And there's special anniversary characters, like specific characters for anniversary. And Pokemon Master has been doing this for every year since they've released. And it's always nice to look forward to anniversary. And this anniversary, they dropped the developer. Is it the developer? The message from the team. It's like the developer letter, the dev letter, the dev message, or whatever. What's it called? But they released it in August 25th, and it's a bit, it's a bit, quite frankly, a little bit disappointing. I'll admit. 5 years. All right, it's Pokemon Master's 5th year of anniversary. 5 years is a lot of time. 5 years is like a huge, I think about it, 5 years is actually a pretty large fraction of my life. Like, if it was a pizza, 5 years, of my life in terms of like a pizza ratio, like a slice of pizza, that's a big slice of pizza. And it's 5 years too. Like, it's half of 10. It's, they're gonna do something special. And I also, it's Pokemon Masters. It's been running for a long time. Like, I don't expect the money that they're getting to be high, right? They're probably not doing as well as they once were. And so it's pretty important to not only make 5-year anniversary really exciting for like old players, like you have to keep up making good stuff, but also have it interesting for a new player. All right, and let's just get to the main thing that they're adding for 5th year anniversary. The main thing, they are adding a new kind of sync pair, like a new kind of like unit, an archetype of unit for this game, and they're calling them arc suit. Arc suit. All right. Before we got the normal characters, and then we got Signa suit, which is special to Pokemon Masters. It's basically like just a character outfit alt, like it's a different outfit. And then they started doing like special costumes, and then they started doing Neo champions, and then they started doing all this stuff. But then they're doing Arc suit, and Arc suit is, I mean, it's the main issue. I mean, there's no denying that. In my opinion, it's the main issue. There's a lot of things wrong with it. Like basically everything about it is bad. In my opinion, it's all bad. It's all bad. I don't like any of it. All right. So, but where do we begin? Where do we begin? It's the main thing about the Arc suit. All right. Do we just talk about the main thing that is bad? Let's not talk about the main thing. All right. There are a few other things. So, Arc suit is basically the Arc suit that we're getting for 5th year anniversary is Steven, Cynthia, and Lance. And now you know, Steven, Cynthia, like, they're like the champions of Gen 3, Gen 2, Gen 3, Gen 4. You know, a lot of people love these characters. Believe me, guys, I am a big Steven fan. I'm a big Cynthia fan. All right, if you guys watch my Pokemon Master videos, you know, I like my Steven, I like my Cynthia. All right. Don't really care much for Lance, but you know, that's just me. And so they're releasing these characters for anniversary, and already that's not the best thing in the world. Why do I say that? Well, Steven was already released as an anniversary character for 2nd year. He was already released as an anniversary character. And you know what? Cynthia was also released as an anniversary character for 3rd year anniversary. And so now it's 5th year anniversary, and you're just using the same characters for anniversary. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand why they're using these characters because they're popular characters. But like, we already had these characters for anniversary, and they're doing it again. Yeah, that's a little bit disappointing. Just how Red was released basically 3 times. 1st year anniversary, 3rd year anniversary, and 4th year anniversary. We got Red. Well, Red technically wasn't in 1st year anniversary, but like, he was kind of connected to 1st year anniversary. But you know what I mean. We got Red twice, and that was a little bit disappointing. And now we're getting Cynthia and Steven twice, which that's kind of the first ding. Like, it would be nice to get other characters to get showcased during anniversary. I know they really like highlighting other characters for like 0.5 anniversary. Like, we got May, we got Rayhan, we got Skyla for like 0.5 year anniversary, which is always nice. But yeah, it's just, they're just keep on releasing the same character for anniversary. Lance is nice. I'll admit, Lance is nice. While I don't like Lance, I'm not a big fan of Lance. Not for any particular reason. I don't dislike him. I'm not a fan of him. He got an all for anniversary, which is always nice. Like that I can appreciate. I just don't really appreciate the Cynthia and Steven. I was really thinking that Luzamine would get an alt, in my opinion. I don't know. I just thought that, you know, she hasn't had an alt in a long time, and you know, she's a pretty fan favorite character, I think. But regardless, that's the first issue. And you know, the thing about the Arc suit is that they're tying it in with the story. And you know, the thing about it, I just played the story last night. Actually, I think the reason why I played it last night, it was because there were some missions that you had to do. So if you do the story, prelude, you do the prelude story, you get a few gems. And I did that last night so I can get those gems so that I don't miss it. Now you can no longer get those gems. So if you miss those like 5 rolls, then unlucky, really. But I did the story of the Arc suit, you know, of the where these Arc suits are coming from, and honestly, the story was really good. I will talk about that in another video because I'm gonna make another video about, you know, some other stuff. But the thing is, the story it does kind of make sense about these characters. Like the characters, I wanted to make this video earlier, but I also wanted to give a little bit of time so that I can at least experience 1st year anniversary or 5th year anniversary and experience some of the story. So like, the next few issues I have is definitely an issue, but it makes sense story-wise. Because again, the story, I don't want to spoil the story too much, but the story of where these Arc suits come from is, you know, is basically people are just getting stronger. People with their bond, people have a bond with their Pokemon, and that's just getting amplified, right? And what do I mean by that is what I'm saying next will make sense. So the thing about the alts for Lance, Cynthia, and Steven, one of the main issues, there's a lot of issues, but one of the issues is that their outfits aren't very different from the normal outfits, alright? Now, color schemes, yes, the colors are a little bit different. But in terms of Steven and Arc Suit Steven, they're very similar. And Cynthia and Sync Suit Steven, or Sync Suit, Arc Suit Cynthia look similar, and Lance and Arc Suit Lance look the same as well, right? Look very similar, I should say, not the same. So that's a little bit disappointing, because usually for anniversary we're expecting a different, like a completely different outfit. You know, maybe not like super different, but if you look at second year anniversary Cynthia, or the third year anniversary, it was third year anniversary Cynthia, Aura Cynthia, and normal Cynthia, the outfits are completely different. Same thing with Steven. Steven outfit are completely different, but these new arc suits, the outfits aren't really different, and that's a little bit. I mean, that's not really fun. We like to roll. I mean, the main selling point, or one of the main selling point of Pokemon Masters, is to be able to have characters with different outfits outside of what you normally see, and so that's very exciting to see, like Cynthia in like a dress, or Cynthia in like some white pants. Wait, that's for the if you do a EX. Yeah, that would be EX, so, or 6-star. So actually, she wear back pants, which is normal, I guess. It's interesting to see like Cynthia in chopstick form, and then Cynthia in like another outfit. And so it's fun to see Cynthia in different outfits. Same thing with Steven. Steven in shorts. Steven in like a spacesuit. Right? Interesting to see them in different outfits. But these arc suits kind of is too similar to their normal outfits, which again makes sense story-wise. Is because they're not like, it's not like them coming out as a Neo champion having a different outfit, not them coming out in like some kind of special costume event where they're wearing a special outfit for a certain reason, right? It makes sense that their new designs, their arc suit designs look similar to their normal designs, because again, it just shows like the growth, their normal growth. So it makes sense story-wise, but again, it's just, yeah, it's just the same outfits, guys. It's basically just the same outfits. Another problem, alright, is that they're using the same Pokemon. Again, it makes sense story-wise, is because it's basically, the arc suit is like the strengthening of a bond of the trainer and their Pokemon. And of course, it would make sense that Steven strengthened his bond with his Metagross, Cynthia strengthened her bond with her Garchomp, and then Lance strengthens his bond with the Dragonite. It makes sense story-wise. Again, it makes sense that they're using their same Pokemon. But again, it's just a little bit boring. We already rolled for the Steven and Metagross. We already rolled, or I should say, I already rolled for Cynthia and Garchomp, right? Like, I already rolled for these characters, and now you're re-releasing the characters with the exact same Pokemon, with the exact same Mega Evolution, with the exact same outfit. Okay, not the exact same outfit, but you know what I mean. It's a very similar outfit. So, like, again, story-wise, don't get me wrong. Again, story-wise, it makes sense. I understand the story-wise. But it's just a little bit, we already rolled for Steven, and now you're making us roll for Metagross Steven again? It's like the reset. It's it's the same character. It's essentially the same Pokemon, the same character. And so if you're rolling for a different character, you're rolling for a different Pokemon, you're gonna be a little bit disappointed if you already have these characters with their Pokemon. It's just the same thing. It's really, again, it makes sense story-wise, but it's just we already have these characters with the respective Pokemons, and it's like it would be interesting if they weren't Mega. Like, it would be interesting if Steven couldn't Mega his Metagross for some reason. Like, that would, in my opinion, that would make it even, it would be interesting. But no, it's still Mega, which makes sense. But regardless. Alright. Okay, so first issue is basically similar outfits. Second issue is the same Pokemon. Third issue, alright, we're getting to a third issue. The new role. Why are they a different role? They want to make these arc suit specials by giving them the multi-role, which is a new role in Pokemon Master. We're 5 years in, and they're introducing the 6th role. Roll as in R-O-L-E, like a roll, like you have, not like a cake roll where you would eat it, not that type of roll, but you know what I mean, a roll, like you know, your archetype or whatever. They're releasing a new role, and you might be asking, why is releasing a new role a bad thing? You know, there's more variety to the game, more interesting things to the game. Well, if you played the game for a long time, you know why new roles suck. They introduced a new role not too long ago, actually. It's the sprint role and the field role. And the problem with these roles is that these roles kind of suck. These roles kind of suck on their own. And in my opinion, I think that this new multi-role isn't that good either. Now, the multi-role makes it so it essentially means that you can do more damage. I mean, that, and it makes you take less damage, but ideally, I mean, honestly, that doesn't really matter that too much. So for our sake, for all intents and purposes, we'll say that the new role makes it so that you do more damage because you lower your opponent's rebuff, which again is a mechanic in the game. But like, you do more damage, but it's just the reason why adding a new role to these characters is a bad thing is because to upgrade characters, there's an item in the game where you can upgrade characters, but you only get a certain amount of these items for each role. Alright, so the 6 roles in Pokemon Master Jet, right? Striker, Tech, and Support, and Field, and Sprint, and Multi. When there was only 3 roles, when there was only the Strike, Tech, and Support roles, you got materials to have an item, a candy to increase the levels of your of a striker sync pair, of a tech sync pair, of a support sync pair. But when they added more roles to the game, you get less of these materials, right? And so now, like, if you want to upgrade a sprint sync pair, well, all of the tech, support, and striker materials that you've gathered are all they can't be used on your new sprint sync pair, and so now I have to farm that. And then now they're adding a multi-role, which basically, what I'm trying to say is, we don't have materials to upgrade these sync pairs. Now, of course, there are candies that you can use to upgrade all characters of all roles, right? There's that candy. But that means that you have to use a very special, very hard to get candy to upgrade these multi-role sync pairs, or the multi-role. Not like rolling for a character, but like role as in their as their occupation. Again, it's really confusing when they say multi-role, because you think, oh, the multi-role is you're rolling a 10 thing in the gacha game. You're rolling 10 characters. No, that's not what I mean. It's multi-role as in the role that they have. It's confusing. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is, I know I'm going a roundabout way of saying it. We have less materials to upgrade these characters, and upgrading the characters with the candies are important so that you can increase their damage, increase their sync grid. It's just important to be able to upgrade your characters with candies so that you can get more out of them. And basically, when they add new roles like these, we can't use a lot of our previous materials, and so now and if people have used their like general 5-star candies, like for me, I haven't used a single 5-star candy. I still have my 5-star candy from the Prestige event. That just shows how much I don't use these candies. But like now, I have an opportunity to use them. But some people may have already used all their general 5-star candies, and getting a multi-roll like this kind of sucks, because now like you just don't have the materials to upgrade it. And so yeah, that's another reason why these new sync pairs, the new arc suits, kind of suck. Is because they're going to be hard to upgrade their move level. So another issue, and this is the main issue. I think this is the main issue. This is the most offensive part about the arc suit sync pairs. All right, everything I've said before, again, is passable. Is almost passable. But this isn't, in my opinion. I'm not very happy about this. I think this is what most people are upset about, and rightfully so. What am I trying to say? To pity these arc suit characters, to pity them, to guarantee get them, you need more gems. I mean, just simply put, you need to put more premium currency to guarantee get these characters. Alright, that's the bad thing. Now, let me take a step back. It's very difficult to mess with a game's gacha. I think that once a game makes their gacha, releases their gacha on day 1, it's very hard to mess with the gacha, because if you make the gacha worse, in other words, you make it so that it's hard to get 5-star characters, you make it so that it takes more rolls to get 5-star characters that you want, right? You make it harder to get what you want. People aren't gonna like that. I think Genshin Impact does a great example. Genshin Impact is one of the gacha games that I play, and I use it as an example because a lot of people play Genshin Impact. It's like a very popular gacha game, so I can use it as an example. Genshin Impact does a really good job of making its gacha good, surprisingly. All right, they've introduced a lot of new features, and even a lot of these features are very recent that makes gacha better in Genshin Impact. So Genshin Impact is like you get a 5-star. And if you roll for 1 5-star, but if you don't get the one that you want, the target 5-star, then the next 5-star you get will guaranteed be the 5-star. Imagine if that system was in Pokemon Masters, it would be insane. But regardless, in Genshin Impact, you roll for a 5-star, you miss the 5-star, then you guarantee the next one you get it. So it has a 50-50 system, right? But now it's no longer 50-50. Now Genshin Impact is 55-45. So they've just made it a feature where it's more likely for you to win the 50-50. All right. So that's one way they made gacha better. Another way they made gacha better, actually 2 ways they made gacha better, was for the weapon banner. When the game released the weapon banner, you could not guarantee a weapon. And then they released a feature where you can guarantee a weapon, but it might take up to 3 misses. Like you might miss the first weapon, you might miss the second weapon, but on the 3rd weapon, you're guaranteed to get the weapon that you want. They introduced that system. And now more recently, they introduced another system where they reduced that to 2. So now if the first weapon you get is not the weapon you want, then the next weapon will guarantee it. So basically it's actually the true 50-50. That's a lie, it's not the true 50-50 because it's still a 37.5 and you know what I mean, right? But anyways, so yeah, in Genshin Impact, it made it so that characters are 55-45, which is new, and then weapon is now you can guarantee within 2 weapons instead of before where who knows how much you have to roll to get the weapon you want, right? So yeah, Genshin Impact is a great example of them not making gacha harder but making gacha better. In Pokemon Masters, it's kind of the other way around. They've made gacha more difficult. One of the things in Pokemon Masters is like they made gacha harder by making it 1%. A lot of new sync pairs are really strong master fairs, we'll call them, right? The master fairs are 1%. Normally, when you roll for a character, it's 2%. When the game first came out, all the limited characters, or all the, I guess, the rate-up characters, you can say, were 2%. And then they introduced master fairs, which is 1%. So, again, games, when they make gacha more difficult, it's not going to be a good thing. The community response is never going to be a good thing when they make gacha harder. So they made a lot of sync pairs 1%. That being said, I will give credit where credit was due. Pokemon Masters did introduce a feature that made gacha easier. Before a multi, when you do 10, you would only get 10. Now, when you do a multi, instead of getting 10, you get 11. Right? This was a feature that wasn't upon release, and so basically what happens is that you get an extra roll if you do multis instead of singles. And so in Pokemon Masters, it's actually a better idea to do multis because you get the extra roll. And because of the extra roll, it actually builds up your pity. In Pokemon Masters, you have to do like a set amount of rolls to get a set amount of pity to pity your character. To be exact, it is... it's 300? Is it 300 or 400? Wait, I'm an idiot. How do I not know this, even though I played Pokemon Masters for 5 years? Am I an idiot? Hold up, give me one moment here. Before it was 400 scout points, to guarantee a 5-star. Now, what does 400 scout points mean? How many rolls does it take to guarantee a 5-star? Okay, I kind of forgot. That's not a good luck. So 3,000 times, or would it be 400 divided by 33, 12? It would be 12 multis. Yeah, it would be 12. It would be okay. Okay, let me do the math. I should have done the math before the video. It would take 122 rolls for normal sync pairs. 122 rolls to pity a character. Now, Pokemon Master is a little bit different from Genshin, where you can like roll the character, but you'll keep building pity. That being said, though, the pity doesn't transfer from a banner to banner. So, I mean, there's a few differences there. All right. But however, so yeah, anyways, what I'm trying to, let me finish my point. So they made gacha easier by having multis give you an extra roll. What this does is it basically makes you save like over 3,000 gems. So before, to pity a character, it would be like 40,000 and like 200 gems. But now it's only like 36,600 gems, which is a lot less. It's like 3,000. It's like a whole multi less, right? So that's very nice. They made gacha easier in that sense. But the most offensive thing, like I said, about this new art suit sync pairs is that they're raising the scout points, which is basically raising how much you have to roll to get pity, into 500 scout points. you know. And in my thumbnail, I'm gonna probably do something cheeky about like the 500 wearing a party hat because 50th anniversary, 500, you know, it all makes sense. But anyways, now what it takes is, I did the calculation earlier. 500 divided by 33, so 15 times 3,000. Yeah, so now it takes like over, it would take, before it took like 36 over 36,000. Now it takes over 45,000 to pity a character, pity an arc suit sync pair, I should be more exact. And that is where I think that's where most of the community has an issue, where it now takes more rolls to pity a character. And keep in mind, pitying these characters, pitying a 1%. Oh, by the way, did I mention the arc sync pairs were 1%? Obviously, they would be 1%. They wouldn't be 2%. They're 1%. And you know, if you play this game for a while and you've rolled for master sync pairs, you know that very oftentimes you hit pity. I would say probably more than half the times I've rolled for master sync pairs, I've hit pity. And again, pity is that 400 scout points. Now they raised the scout point pity to 500, and so it's very likely for you to hit that hit the 500 scout points and not even get a single one of the arc suit. And in my opinion, I think that's like why did they do that? Why did they raise the pity? Why would you raise the pity? It's already 1% a master. It's already like master fair rates. Is it gonna be the arc suit rates? It's already a 1%, but why would you increase the pity? Like, imagine if Genshin Impact would increase the pity. Oh my gosh, the community would like burn down MiHoYo's headquarters. like I don't understand why they raised the pity. The pity has always been 400 scout points. Why would you increase that pity to 500? Like, I don't understand. Like like the only reason I can think of, well, there's two reasons. The one reason I can think of is just that they're just greedy and they want money. I'll just straight up say it. Like, you want us to roll more, and so you want us to spend more gems, which means you want us to spend more money. Like, that's, you know, that's one reason. And then a lot of people, no, maybe not a lot of people, but one of the counter arguments, or one of the arguments for the 500 scout points are making pity harder, essentially, is because these new units are strong. And you know what? It is true. These units are strong. These units are very strong, actually. Before recording this, I'm not recording this as a video. I'm recording this as a voice recording, and I'm probably gonna overlay some gameplay or whatever onto it. But like, I did test out Arc Suit Cynthia, and indeed, she is quite strong. She is quite strong. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? All right, that leads me to my fifth point. My fifth point of why these new sync pairs are bad. Again, let me reiterate the points. It's basically the same outfits. It's the same Pokemon. They introduced the new roles or hard to upgrade. The pity is higher. And my fifth point is that these units are too strong. All right. Now, why is units being too strong a problem? All right. Well, we have to talk a little bit about power creep then, huh? The game makes units better so that we are more inclined to roll for them, so that we roll for them and we might spend more money rolling for these new characters that are strong, right? That's the point. It's kind of the power creep issue that a lot of gacha games have, where the newer characters are better, which makes people want to roll more, which gives more money into the game developers' pockets, right? And so it's just not good. I just don't want characters to be stronger in this game. We already have a lot of strong characters. The Master Fairs are already plenty strong. Some might even say that Master Fairs that we've gotten are overpowered. A lot of them are. And the Master Fairs themselves are power creeping each other. Like, in my opinion, Anniversary Rayquaza, I should say the first Anniversary Rayquaza, Anniversary Steven and Rayquaza, is a flying type, and that unit sucks. And then they release Ethan, Signal Suit Ethan with Lugia, which is another Master Fair, another 1%. And that unit, in my opinion, is way better than Anniversary Steven and Rayquaza. And then they released Charon with Tornadoist, Neo Champion Charon with Tornadoist. And don't get me wrong, I don't have Ethan on my account. So I don't have experience with Ethan and Lugia. But I reckon that Charon is better than Ethan. I just think that Charon it just does more damage, is easier to use. So yeah, like, literally, and Charon and Tornado is our flying type, right? So already, 3 different Master Fairs of flying type are already the Master Fairs are already paracreeping each other. No, don't even get me started on if Master Fairs are paracreeping normal Poke Fairs and normal seasonals. Like, that's obvious, right? But the Master Fairs are paracreeping themselves. And now we have this new Arc Suit, which is paracreeping the Master Fairs. And the reason why this is an issue is because now Pokemon Master has an excuse to put harder content in the game. Oh, because you have these Arc Suit sync pairs. So we're just gonna give you harder difficulty so that you take advantage of these new stronger sync pairs. And like, that's no fun. Like, we don't want harder content in the game. For me, I mean, maybe some hardcore people want harder content, but I personally, okay, most of my channel is Champion Stadium. My first Champion Stadium, the max point was 7,500. Now we're literally double that. The last Champion Stadium I made just like a few days ago is 15,000 points. All right, so literally double the points. And now because of the new Arc Suit sync pairs, I reckon that they're gonna increase Champion Stadium, make it even harder because of these new units. And now don't get me wrong, 15,000 Champion Stadium. 50,000 point Champion Stadium isn't that bad nowadays, to be honest, because all I'm doing is spamming Master Fairs. But again, it just kind of makes it so that, I don't know, it gives excuse for the game to be harder, and I think that is not fun. I don't really want the game to be harder. I'm happy at the difficulty of the content it is, right? I'm not looking for a challenge when it comes to Pokemon. I know some people are, but I'm not. I'm just looking for some casual game. I'm just chilling, right? I'm just chilling, rolling for characters I like. But it's hard to roll for characters you like if they suck and you can't beat hard content with them. And then you might need to roll for characters you don't really like that are powerful. And yeah, that's why I think that's an issue. I don't think that these characters being strong makes it so that it's justified that they have a higher pity. I actually think that them being strong is a bad thing. I think it's unhealthy for the game because now, again, power creep. We're going to be more inclined to roll for these characters, and in the future, we might just see a bunch of Arc Sync pairs and less of Poke Fairs and less Master Fairs, right? So, those are the 5 reasons why I think everything about these Arc Suit Sync pairs are bad. Everything, right? I think there's a lot going on about them that's bad. And don't get me wrong, I think there is an interesting idea, and I like how it ties in with the lore, the story. But it's just not it, right? It's just not it. Now, a lot of people are complaining about the Arc Suit sync pairs, but I want to propose some solutions. I want to propose some ideas of how this idea can be less poopy. Less is poopy right now. I want it to be less poopy, and so I'll have some ideas to suggest. I doubt people from DNA are actually going to watch my videos. I doubt many people are going to watch my videos. But I have some suggestions, and you know what? Maybe if these suggestions come true, then I can come back and be like, okay, you know what? The Arc Sync pair, the Arc Suit Sync pair is a new name. All right, I get confused a little bit. It was a good feature, all right? Because now that I look back at Master Fairs, it's like, even though it was a 1% and a lot of people didn't like it, you know, it still increased, you know, instead of 10% is a 12% for 5 stars. And, you know, at this point, it's like we can kind of keep up with them. But, like, okay, how can they make this Arc Suit Sync pairs better? First off, what they should do is, who cares? Just make the outfits completely different. I don't care if Cynthia wears something completely different and has no connection with the story. I don't care, all right? Let's not make the outfits cater toward the lore and story. Let's not make it cater to that. Let's make it cater to the people who are actually rolling and playing the game and spending money. All right. I don't care if Cynthia is wearing something completely different. I'm trying to think of what's completely different. I don't know, like clown pants and a big hat. I don't know what I'm talking about. But like, we just want different outfits, right? Again, if it doesn't really make sense in the story, well, at the end of the day, like, we just want different outfits. So that's one suggestion, is change the outfits. Another suggestion, change the Pokemon. I mean, is that obvious? Yes, I get it. It's like people, or the Arc our arc suits want to kind of use their aces, and we have a lot of aces already, like people with their aces. But if you can change the Pokemon, that would be pretty sick, right? That would be pretty sick. All right. I don't think they're gonna change the multi-role, but what they should do, and this is a huge suggestion that I think they should do, and I really hope that they do this, is make it so that it's easier to get generic 5-star move coins. The move coins is the items that you use to exchange for the candies to increase the move levels of your characters to make them stronger. I want more generic ones introduced, more generic coins introduced instead of the specific strike, support, sprint, you know, those types of coins. I want the more general coins to be introduced more. And now, when I say introduce more, I don't mean that they should just give us a bunch of move coins. Honestly, I think that the rate of move coins that they give us currently is not bad. We get one from like Champion Stadium, we get one from events, we get one from, you know, the points that we get when we do content in the game. We get points in it. We get a lot of coins, don't get me wrong. But I want us to get more generic coins, because the more generic coins we get, the more generic 5-star candies we can get, and the more of those we get, the more we can upgrade our sprint, our field, and our multi-sync pairs. Right? I kind of get that they want to make these multi-role sync pairs hard to upgrade, because they get really powerful. You get free sync grids, like free sync grid nodes, and you know, I get that they want these characters to be a little bit hard to upgrade, but I just hope that they introduce more of those generic 5-star move candies so that we can upgrade all of our characters instead of having to focus the candies, right? Again, they don't need to increase the amount of candies. I just hope that the amount of candies that we get, they're more of the generic ones. Like hopefully Champion Stadium, like my idea would be like Champion Stadium always gives a generic 5-star move coin, right? Wouldn't that be sick? Instead of getting like a sprint this week, a striker this week, what if it's just all generic? You know what I'm saying? And then events, all generic. When you roll for characters, when you roll for characters, you might get the rewards, the move coin rewards. So let those be all generic too. You know what I'm saying? Like just more ways where the coins can be generic, so that we have more opportunities to upgrade any character we want, instead of being forced to have a bunch of tech candies which we're not going to do anything with. You know? I think that's a reasonable suggestion. I don't think that's too out of the world here. And the thing about the scout points being 500, obviously I would like it so that pity would only be 400, right? I would like it so that the scout points, the pity would be 400. I don't think they're gonna change it to 500. I don't think they're gonna change it down from 500 to 400. I just don't see them doing that. If they would have done that, they would have never had 500 points to begin with. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they were willing to release it as normal pity, they would have released it as normal pity. But because they're not releasing it as normal pity, then they're not gonna do it. They're not gonna release it. So I don't think that number is gonna decrease anytime soon, which is unfortunate. And I'm trying to think of the last point I had. Alright, the last point I had, it's like a super basic point. I mean, this is literally everybody who plays a gacha game says this. I think what they should do is they should give us more premium currency. I mean, I know, guys. I know that's just such a dumb idea. Give us more currency. Obviously, giving more currency to the players would be what players want, obviously. But like, yeah, I just think because they're introducing more and more master fairs, and now the master fairs are being a little bit more difficult to pity. You know, it doesn't mean that these characters are hard to roll for. It just means that you might need to spend more to pity them, right? Which, you know, might happen more. Actually, pitying them will happen less nowadays because you're spending more rolls to get them, and so because you're spending more rolls, you have more opportunity to get them before pity. You know what I mean, right? But regardless, yeah, I wish the game, or I hope the game to counteract this arc suit sync pair debacle is to just introduce a little bit more currency. Right, I'm not saying double the amount of gems we get today. I'm talking about just give us a little bit more. You know, just give us a little bit more. Maybe, who knows? Maybe it's just simply 30,000, which is a multi. Give us an extra multi every month. I don't know. You know, just give us a little bit more. I'm not saying that you should just give us all the gems, but I'm saying just give us a little bit more. Now that these art sync pairs Arc Suits pities more, why not get a little bit more currency? Again, it doesn't need to be a crazy amount, but just a little bit more. Alright, those are my suggestions for the Arc Suit stuff. And yeah, I'm gonna stop talking about this feature now. At the end of the day, I think it's kind of a bad feature. And you know what? I'll take everything I said back. I'll take everything I said back if they release Arc Suit Zinnia. There you go. I said it. Alright. It released Arc Suit Zinnia, and I'll delete this video. I won't say anything about you ever again, Pokemon Masters. Do it! Give me a Zinnia, Arc Suit Zinnia. But in all seriousness, yeah, that's the end of the Arc Suit Sync pair discussion that I want to present. And yeah, that's basically the major point of 5th year anniversary. I will be talking about the other stuff of 5th year anniversary, but in my opinion, it's not as important as, you know, that's 5th year anniversary is the main thing when you think of is the new Arc Suit Sync pairs, and there's a lot of things wrong about them. And so because the main thing is something that's really bad, then yeah, it's just the anniversary just doesn't really seem that good, huh? But of course, there's other stuff. There's new story. I think the new story is interesting. I think it's gonna be fun. And what else? there really isn't that much. There really isn't that much for a 5th year anniversary besides the new banner, which is poo-poo. So that's great. I do want to touch on new features that they're having. They say that they're gonna improve. They're gonna improve the multiplayer feature in this game, which I thought was always. Which I have always thought that they were gonna do, and I find that exciting. You know, I always thought, like, if they create like some kind of clan or club system, would I create my own clan, or would I join someone else's? And I don't think my audience is big enough to make my own clan that people would join, so I'll probably just join someone else's clan. But any opportunities to introduce a co-op, again, not competition. I don't want to see competition in Pokemon Masters. Competition would be absolutely terrible, because there would just be a bunch of pay-to-win freaks beating up the crap out of low spenders or free-to-play people like me. I'm not a free-to-play, I'm low spender. But like, yeah, I do not want to see PvP. But multiplayer, I'm definitely interested in that. And then also something about new way of approaching. It says here, completely new approach to lore and storytelling. So yeah, I mean, I like the idea of new story and stuff. If that's interesting as well. But honestly, yeah, that's not even for anniversary. That's for like in the next 6 months. Like so there's a lot of, yeah. There's not much to talk about anniversary. It's just that main thing to talk about, and I think that's kind of it. I'm happy, at least. At the very least, I'm happy that Pokemon Master has an anniversary. It actually does something special for anniversary. Granted, this anniversary, kind of, the feature isn't that good, but I think it's something that we just have to see. We just have to see what it's going to be like. I think the community response to these Arc Suit banners, I think the response has been pretty poorly. It hasn't been taken well. These new banners, but I hope that Pokemon Master sees the response and does something about it. Hopefully they don't just ignore it, and honestly I hope that, you know, they don't just revert it to 400 scout points. That would be kind of pathetic. I mean, you released it at 500 and now you're putting it back to 400. That would kind of be pathetic. Obviously I'd like to see that in terms of like it would benefit the player base. They have to spend less currency. But in my opinion, I feel like that's just kind of a fail on Pokemon Masters. Like, admitting that they made a bad feature instead of trying to fix it. They just, you know what I mean? I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of it. I will be making a few more Pokemon Masters videos. But I just want to get this video out there. I've made it already way too long. I should probably end it. So thank you for watching. You're beautiful the way you are, and you know what? I'll catch you in another Pokemon Masters video. I have a few other ideas planned. Whether or not I'll get them out, that's to be seen. But yeah, I appreciate you listening to this video, this terrible video of me just ranting. Yep. All right.